Today's podcast will be exploring about the very interesting life of you. Because
Mm.
you normally don't come across a person which has done spiritual healing, is also an artist with 5.5 million views, and has been featured in a lot of newspapers across the world. So, how did your journey start? What exactly drove you from becoming an artist and then into spirituality? Like, what was the journey?
Well, it's a long journey, but actually, I think it started when I was 3 years old. Um,
Okay.
my
We're
father
going
died.
very
Yeah, we're going way back. My father died from brain cancer,
I'm
and
so sorry.
so it's life. And it's a kind of special thing. I went on a soul retrieval journey with a Norwegian shaman or a Sami shaman. And when you go on a soul retrieval, you go back into your life and you visit and to sort of pick at the pieces of what you lost. And I was expecting something like some momentous event in my life that was where I was going to go back to. This is a very good shaman, by the way. Unfortunately, he has passed. I look out. But he was doing his things, with drums and with incense and everything. And I closed my eyes and I went back and I came to myself when I was sitting in a field of flowers
Oh,
in Norway. Yeah. And I was this tiny kid sitting there and looking at the insects and everything. And I knew that this was before I had been told that my father had died. Uh, So I went over to the other aspect of myself, and I sat down, and he or me looked up, and he smiled, uh,
right.
and and we like communicated, not with words, but we
It's
communicated.
feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I apologized to him for the journey that he was going to take because it has been a rough journey at times, and I gave him a hug. And then he smiled again, and I flew off back into my body. And I think that's where it started. Um, Sort of felt like we did some exchange from heart to heart, and this
So,
was
was this one of those shaman experiences like those that happen in the Amazonian forest? If I'm not wrong, they have got an entire shaman ritual where they give you a mixture of two herbs. They make you drink it, and then you go
yeah,
into some sort of very deep meditation. You go within yourself, and then you
yeah.
experience multiple things. Was that one of those experiences that you had?
Oh, I've traveled with the Sacred Vine many times, and that is one of the most powerful tools you can use for finding your path. It is not. It was something I read about it a lot, and I didn't do it before after I had met my lama. I have a Tibetan lama called Tulku Lobsang, who is my teacher, and he was my teacher in the Tibetan form of healing that I do, and it's also. And I was on a retreat with him about meditation, and then afterwards I was invited to come to a sacred circle with shaman, with working with ayahuasca, and then I felt strong enough because it is tough. It's not something I recommend anybody because it's like you get a smack to your face, and it is a tough thing, but it was very much right for me because you see beyond when I first did it, this was in 2018, was when I did my first travels with ayahuasca, and I also explored this. And but I read about it for a long time. I wasn't really ready because you need to know that you are ready. As I said, you need to be quite a bit integrated in order to do it. Otherwise, you will get so many smacks in your face. It's going to be hurtful.
It's an entire spiritual journey which starts and ends with yourself. And when you talk about since you're mentioning the ayahuasca experience, let's also mention the dark side of ayahuasca. There are a lot of fake ayahuasca shamans. How did you manage to find the right one for yourself?
Well, I was fortunate in meeting good people at the start. I've tried. There are different companies who do this, and I met others who are mostly in it for the money, and that shouldn't be it. These are there are people from. They have a hospital in the Amazon, which is awesome, and yeah, the hospital is sacred water, where you can come for crystal healing and to travel and stuff like that. And they're really,
You're talking about an entire hospital about which is based on the aspects of spiritual healing and not the traditional allopathy or homeopathy.
yeah, correct. They use crystal healing, water. They use ayahuasca. They have different forms and lots of meditation and stuff. And I, right, now I'm not very. I don't have a lot of money, but I did have some money before, and I put a little into the founding of this hospital because I thought they are, you know, being a healer. I've been a healer for many years, and so I met a lot of healers. And unfortunately, in my business, there are a lot of fake. There are a lot of people who are in it for power or money or whatever, and it's so I haven't talked about being a healer. You know, I didn't want to associate myself with a lot of the people who are healers.
You went there with a personality saying that you don't know anything about it. You just judged that, okay, I've read this on the internet. I'm a spiritual healer. I've got this information. Okay, so they're probably doing the right thing. Let's go ahead with it.
Mhm.
So that was the journey. In fact, just if you're talking about healing, I did a course almost 3 years back with
Mm,
Master Chao Kok Sui, and this was for pranic healing. So
mm,
I'm also a level one certified pranic healer, and the things that I experienced during that course, I don't have words to explain that. This you must be knowing about the twin heart meditation. I did that, and my eyes were closed. I was sitting in that same room. I know I'm sitting there, and I can literally see myself sitting here. So
mm,
it kind of it was a out of soul experience, out of body experience.
yeah.
My soul got out of the body. I was literally able to see myself,
Mm,
and then I saw the world. Then I came back within myself. It was
mm,
so peaceful.
yeah.
Like it goes for like 30 minutes, I think, and it's more than the 8 hours of sleep. It's more peaceful than the 8 hours of sleep. So that's the
Mm,
level of what's the right word, serenity that you get after
mm,
you do that kind of meditation, when it goes deep within the spiritual aspect of your life. So
yeah.
yeah, do you have any experience in this training or spiritual journey of yours?
If well, I've had a lot of. I, I've been reading about this since I was. I started reading when I was 4 years old. So I've been reading up on everything when it comes to spirituality, and had my mom read the Bible to me when I was 3 or something. And I've been around in various forms for a long time. But I think one of the since you talk about steps on a journey, and since you also talk about out of body experiences, when I was 27, uh, I had an amazing experience. It was my oldest son, Alexander. Um, he had colic, so he'd been crying every night for 3 months. And then on the day that he stopped, it was an amazing day, and he went to bed and he fell asleep and he didn't cry. And that evening, yeah, it was amazing. So I was sitting outside our apartment on the porch with my then wife, and we were talking, and it was like this magic thing. And then we went to bed, and I felt there was something I had to do. So so Beate fell asleep, and I started meditating, and then I just flew out of my body, and I could see. I looked behind me, I saw the earth, and I flew off, and I came to the moon, the dark side of the moon, and I saw a crater, and I just zoomed down there, and then I met there were 13 beings standing there, and they looked kind of scary, They all had cloaks on, so I couldn't see the faces. Yeah, and so I zoomed into there, and I was standing among them, and we were talking without talking, and they said, "Are you ready for what you're gonna do?" And I said, "Yes." Silly enough, because I didn't really know what they'd asked me, you know? I I didn't do, but I knew somehow, anyway. And so we were communicating for some time, and then I said, "Bye," and flew back into my body again. And that was like, wow, I've been in a totally different reality. Yeah, it reminds me of your experience with the meditation when you really.
Can't be normal again. You know that there's some spiritual aspect to the world because it actually opens you to a whole new possibility. In fact,
Mm,
the Hindu culture, if I'm not wrong, it says that the world is into 11 dimensions, and how we see the world is it's a three-dimensional world, but there are 11 different dimensions which we can explore.
mm,
The Hindu culture clearly says that there is a existence of parallel universe.
mm,
There are multiple universes. There's a multiverse theory, which the
yeah,
scientists are coming up right now. In the Hindu mythology, in the Hindu scriptures, it's been written thousands and thousands of years back.
mm,
So it just toggles my head each time I think about this. I keep diving into it that, okay, the world is so huge and it's
mm,
completely unexplored. So when
yeah,
they say that the greatest knowledge is to know nothing, is to
yeah,
accept the fact that you know nothing.
yeah.
So yeah, in fact, when I started pranic healing, I honestly speaking, I didn't believe it. I was like,
Okay.
it's just a lot of crap that this thing doesn't work. It is just some holy hobos doing some interesting work, but it doesn't work in the real life because there's no science behind it. And when I healed someone myself,
Mm.
I was shocked. I was stunned that okay, this is something which I can do.
Yeah.
So, what was your healing experience? You heal through music, right? What was your healing experience?
Well, I first felt I had some field here, but I really met it through technology. There is something called a chi machine, which is it's a special thing. You can, if you Google CHI machine, you'll find it still online, and it sends waves of energy. And it was like, to test it, you could print out. This was back, I was around 27 then as well. You could, no, it was before, I was 24. You could print out a drawing, and and that they had in front of the machine, and then you could see if you could feel anything from it. And I did that, and I felt like, wow, there's this cold stream that comes from the paper. It's like, this is cool. Why do I feel this? And it's the same feel that I can feel when I hit right here. And so I bought such a machine, and I filled it up at home, and I used it for various things. And but that was amazing because it also drew in with, I don't know if you're familiar with Wilhelm Reich. Wilhelm Reich is a psychologist who worked with the body, and he was very controversial. He spoke about the organs, the function of the orgasm and life force, and did a lot of stuff. And he was actually persecuted by the U.S. government because he was so controversial. So he came to Norway to seek refuge because he was so he was so out of it, and with what it said about energy and something called orgone energy, which is the life force, which is chi or ki in the Chinese knowledge. The same thing, prana. And he was very, very much aware of when you work with a person. As I've been a therapist since I was 17. Uh, when I work with a person, I don't just work with the physical or their mental. You work on many, many different levels. When you really connect with someone, then then it works on the energy, body. It works on so many places, and you connect with your heart, with your mind, with your soul. That is when it really
Or
flows.
if I'm quoting, I'm definitely quoting someone which I don't remember, but there's some guru whose video I saw on the internet, and he said that before connecting with someone, just connect with the aura. If you
Yeah.
connect with the aura of the other person, you automatically get a lot of vibrations. It could be positive, it could be negative, it could be both. It just depends if their aura intertwines with your aura. And you
Yeah.
automatically know that, okay, there's something where, yes, I need to talk with this person. And that's what happened when I spoke to you yesterday night.
Hmm.
So, for the viewers, yesterday, me and Mr. Hakon had a chat on call. It was a very unexpected chat, and I don't know about you, but I related to a spiritual level towards your life journey because my life journey has been pretty tough as well. So, yeah. Anyways, coming back to the podcast. Since we talk about the energy that you said that it can be monitored through a physical device, I've heard that multiple people have tried to analyze the waves of different mantras. Like
Yeah.
when they check the sound wave of Om,
Mm.
that is the sound of the universe, as I say.
Yeah.
And there are different mantras which have got a very greater impact because people just say that, okay, these are the mantras used for the holy purposes, they've got some historical value as well, but they're far, far, far more than that. They
Mm.
have a spiritual aspect which allows you to enter into a whole new dimension. They allow you to enter into a whole new world.
Mm.
So, have you got any experience regarding such an activity where some mantra changed your life?
Well, I've had various mentors in my life, but it came through music because I've been studying singing since I was 22, and exploring different ways of using the voice, and also taking a voice healer course with a very good teacher. And when you really use your voice, when you not not the singing like with the opera voice, where you have to narrow your voice. In diesen Holgen. You have to control it, but you open it up like and you also use the overtones and everything. It's funny that you mentioned or many different ways to pronounce it. To me, that was the first. I think the universe started with a sound, and I think that very much. I think our universe, started not with a word, not with the Big Bang, but with a sound. And I think it would be Aum is a good place to start.
Scientific aspect of what you said just now. The scientists of today have come to a conclusion that they're trying to find the God particle. For those people who don't know the God particle is what's at the very core of the atom or the electron. What actually makes the atom? What actually makes the electron? The very core part.
Mm,
And there's a lot of debate which is happening that the core particle is just a vibration. There's a
mm,
string theory which talks about that there's a string which vibrates. But
mm,
eventually, there is just a vibration. And
mm,
to agree with your point, if you think about it, what's a sound? Sound is, or well, what's a mantra? At the end of the day, it's a vibration.
mm,
And vibration can enter your body without actually piercing your body. It can enter within the soul. It can enter within the body just through matching your aura.
mm.
So I totally agree with you. And there's a whole different scientific debate going on in the world,
Yeah.
which actually agrees with the Hindu mythology that
Mm,
everything at the end of the day is just a vibration. So when you connect with people, you connect on a very deeper root if the vibration is in sync.
mm. Yeah, and I have a friend called John Leonard who's done some amazing work in personality research. He's created like a new system. And if those who are listening are on LinkedIn, check him out. John Lenhart, John Leonard. Uh, he has, but we talked, and he talked about, he thought that God is that one basic building block, the one that can't be divided. That is God. It's not some guy sitting on a throne somewhere with a big beard and all of that. It's the basic. It's the foundation of everything. I think that also reflects very well with the Hindu mythology and a lot of the other. And that is what amazes me, because I talk with a lot of people since I'm a monk. I've been a priest for 13 years, and to me, there is no contradiction in both being a Buddhist and being a Christian and finding a lot of inspiration in Hindi, and also in Islam. It's not as if these are opposing in any ways. They're not at war. When you come down to the real core, the true faith, that is the same. Believing in something that's bigger than us. And so I had a lot of quarrels with some really fine priests about this. That it's not as if you have to. This is where you have to be. It's all about what's in you, Sparsh. What's in me. That is the true, real faith. That is where it is. And believing in, and however you perceive it, it's just, those are tools. You can use mantras that works for you. Then you have Jews who have their rituals. You have the Salat of Islam. That those are contextual. They are within their culture, and they're tools for finding the connection with the sacred. So to me, it's, religious wars, they don't make sense.
Yeah.
It's not at all.
I actually say this quite a lot, that I'm not a religious person at all. I'm a spiritual person. I
Yeah.
believe in God. I do believe in God. I believe there's a superior energy. There's a far, far, far superior energy than all of us combined. And there's a very logical explanation for it. If you look at our solar system, the Earth is just one part of it. If you look at our Milky Way, our solar system is one part of it.
Mm.
If you look at the multiple galaxies that exist in it, our Milky Way, our Milky Galaxy is just one part of the multiple galaxies that exist.
Mm.
And I'm not even accounting the multiverse theory as of now. There could be multiple verses of the universe.
Yeah,
So
you spoke
we are
about
nothing. We are literally nothing.
108, like in my mala.
Yeah,
Yeah.
108 exactly. Yes, since you mentioned 108, um, the not just Hindu mythology, but there are multiple other cultures
Mm.
which do take the number into consideration. So, for example, in Christianity, number 666 is the number of the devil.
Mm.
In Hinduism, number 11 and number 7 are sacred. In
Mm.
almost multiple religions, the number 108 is pretty sacred.
Mm.
And do you have something to say on this?
What?
I'm saying,
I didn't get.
do you have something to add to this? That the numbers are playing some game which I don't understand
Yeah.
certainly.
Mm. It's having a little water. You know, if you go online, there are a lot of people who talk about repeating numbers. You look at the clock and it says 11:11, or 12:12, or whatever. And to me, different numbers. I've done some research into numerology, so I do know a lot about it as well. But to me, they are like reminders. They are like gentle nudges. Did you remember to connect today? So it's like you get all the time. We get these small signals from the multiverse saying that did you remember? Did you remember? Just it could be something as simple as I'm feeling okay. You are here now. That can be sufficient. It's because you know, I'm not the kind of monk who sits in a cave and meditates for 8 hours and only eat rice and all that. I don't believe that's not my way. But I believe in the small moments. You can get just as much effect out of a 1 second of meditation as you
Yeah,
can from hours and hours.
it's just
If you
about doing the right thing. It's about
Yeah.
connecting with yourself. If you can do it in a minute, good for you. If you can do it in an hour, still good for you. So it depends from person to person. There are people that I know they've got anger management issues, and they go for silent therapy. In the
Mm.
silent therapy, they just stay calm. They're literally silent for days. I'm not saying an hour, they're silent for days. And
Mm.
when they finally speak, their anger is gone. They're,
Mm.
they're, they're silent, they're calm from within. So, and coming back to the numbers again, there's a lot of conspiracy and there's a lot of different beliefs on the number 13.
Mm.
Some say it's the number for the dead. It's the time where the dead arises, 3:30. So
Mm.
the number 3 and the number 13 are pretty negative if you think about it. But
Mm.
I have a different take on it, honestly,
Mm.
because I tried to study it online and I did go through a couple of videos. I did read about it. Um, I'll share it with you actually. It's fairly interesting. The number 13 is the number of death. Okay,
Mm.
it could mean multiple things. It could mean that the bad aspect of your life is dead and you're reborn in the same life and a
Mm.
new aspect of your life is getting started. So that's death of the older aspect. At the same time, the spirits are pretty active around the number 13 because they directly relate to the death part of it. And according to the Hindu culture and the religious aspects, after the number 11, till the number 11, it's the number of the gods. After the number 11, it starts the number of the demon. I think 12th is neutral, the 13 is the number of the demon.
Mm.
So there is a positive and a negative aspect to it. It's just the way you look at it. So I love your perspective when you say
Mm.
that. I take it as a reminder that I need to connect with myself. I need to breathe in, breathe out, and just connect on a spiritual level. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny you should say that because I've been in this. You talk about anger. To me, anger correctly used is an amazing power. We need all our emotion. You need, in order to do work in business like you do, sometimes you have to be angry and say, "Oh, no way I'm gonna accept this contract. This is just totally out." No, and you can use all your emotions. All our emotions are necessary. It's not as if you shouldn't say that this is bad and this is good, because if they're properly directed, you can use them for good. But it all depends on what you have in here. And I have a book up on Apple Books called The Glass Onion. I have a book up on Apple Books. If you search for my name, Hakon Rian Ueland, you'll find it. It's a free book. It's called The Glass Onion, and that is about the glass onion. Yes, I stole it from the Beatles. Yeah, uh, because that is how I perceive us to be. We are like a glass onion. At the inner core, there lies the true you. This true spark is in there. And then as we go through life, we grow layers upon layers upon layers, and we get like we have our traumas, we have our pleasant experiences, everything builds up around it. But you are within at the core, you are perfect, totally perfect. That is where but but as we build up, we tend to forget how perfect we are, because we get caught up in all the judgment that we do on ourselves. We say that, no, I reacted badly there, and I didn't get this deal, and oh, I'm not good enough. But when you start working spiritually, or you work with your body, it depends on what you need. Some people need to work on their bodies, some on their mental facilities, some on their spiritual level. Then it starts clearing up, and you start seeing yourself as the perfect little seed at the core, because that's what you are. You are perfect. You just forgotten it.
Yeah, I'm speechless. That's beautiful, actually. If you yeah, I'm actually speechless now, because this is an entirely different perspective to look at your emotions. What people focus on emotions is they try to suppress it, they try to completely omit it, they try to completely remove it, but some people actually try to channelize it. And if we channelize the emotions just like you told right now, if you understand yourself like a glass onion, I'll just use that as an analogy from now on,
Mm.
it's an entirely different ballgame. I'll tell you something which happened with me. I was going through a pretty rough phase of my life, approximately a year back from now. Uh, Things weren't falling in the right direction. I had some of the plans, things didn't fall through. And that got me very, very emotionally unstable. Um, I am a very positive person from the very core of my heart. Because I do a lot of meditations, I'm a spiritual guy, so you automatically generate a lot of positivity from within.
Mm.
And I had this zeal that, okay, you know what? Things are not working out for me right now. but it's in my hands. I'm gonna definitely change it.
Mm.
And yeah, things did change. Now I have a multinational company. We've made two world records. And almost when I go for a meeting and if I go for an event which is in my domain, in my education domain, almost all people know me.
Mm.
So I channelize my emotions the right way. I hope that the people which are listening to the podcast today, they take it as a case study. That if a 20-year-old lad can do it, I can do it too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, please also it's a free book. Definitely go check out the Glass Onion on Apple Books by Am Ancient. Yeah. Cool. Since we're talking about what you do as an author, as an artist, um, how about we talk about the video that you made? You made a video on the Gayatri Mantra,
Yeah.
and you recited it in your own voice. So please tell the audience about what was the journey, how did you think about it, and yeah.
Yeah. I heard the Gayatri Mantra. I was taught it by a friend on the Star Maker app, the karaoke app. He said that you should learn this. So he recorded it, and I repeated it a couple of years ago. And it's sort what? From India. From, yeah. No, no, no. No, it was when I was singing a lot with him. And it sort of came back to me. I have quite a few friends in the music business, and the Gayatri Mantra seemed to keep on popping up. So I thought, okay, I need to read up on it, and I started reading about all of the science that is behind mantras, and uh, I thought it was amazing, and then I found, okay, I need to do some recordings with this, because I've made a lot of my what I work mostly with is electronica, which is without vocals. But I wanted to have also that. So I thought, okay, I'll give that a try. And there is something about when you really feel that you're flowing when you're using a mantra. It's like you get this connection goes straight from your crown, and it's just wow, and it flows around, and and you have it's amazing. So I got some videos on YouTube, the one I sent you, uh, and quite a few others where I use it because I think that is that is the way I synthesize my faith is through music. It's through singing. It's through when I make all of my songs on my iPhone on GarageBand. This is my main instrument, and then I can't do it when I'm alone. I need to sit in a cafe or in a gas station or whatever, and then I listen to what's going on around me, to the people, and feel the vibe, and then I translate that into a song. So it's my reflection of the mood of the place. So all of my songs, when I look at them, is they have a connection to a person, a place, a mood, something like that. And it's and yeah, and music is so, as you said, what? What was it?
Your song was pretty famous, so it's pretty famous.
Yeah.
So yeah, just sing the if you don't mind, of course. Just recite in your own style. That'll be good. Well, our viewers would love to hear it, definitely.
Yeah, well, I can use the mantra that we spoke about yesterday. Om Namah Shivaya. Then that's your wrong key. Om Namah Shivaya. You got to get. It's difficult to do when it's recorded, and it's Om Bhur Swaha Tattavitur Varenyam, so on.
Yeah.
That is,
Really peaceful when you hear it, and your voice is also sort of channelized in such a way that it hits you, because in a good way, in a good way. Like
mm,
I heard your song last night, and what I normally do is before I go to sleep, I hear some sort of mantra, because that's the energy that flows within you, and when you're especially in the most relaxed mood, you
mm,
automatically meditate for 8 straight hours while you sleep. So I sleep for 5 hours, but it feels like I've slept for at least 10 hours.
mm,
So yeah, and yesterday's music was your song,
mm.
so it did help quite a lot. I'll take your permission on the video itself to we'll take the audio, we'll add some graphics, and we'll put the same on our podcast as well for viewers to hear the song out, right?
Yeah, cool.
Right. Um, yeah, coming to the last segment of the podcast today, we'll love to know about what's your plan for the future. So, I know you, so I know that you plan things immediately. There's no, it's all plan at the, what's the right word, on the instance. So, whatever you feel, you directly do it. So, what's your plan? Do you plan to produce more songs in this sector, or what do you plan to do?
Well, I do work with various projects all the time. So I have on the 29th of October, there's going to be a release of a charity album, which goes to uh, help heal the world. If you go to YouTube and you search for "Minds Behind the Music," you will find information about that, and also the track that I've contributed. So I will spend some time. I would like to help out with the promotion, of course. Uh, if all goes well, because there are some things I also need to plan, even though I fly by intuition. But I might be going to Honduras in December on to Honduras. Uh, Honduras, yes. It's something called Soil Ministries, who they send medical and personnel to Honduras to help out, because it's a country they have a lot of issues with trafficking and drugs, and it's really, yeah. So if, yeah, and help, because I I often tend to become the healer's healer. That's been, working with social workers or doctors or healers who are in, because we also need healing, and so that's part of it. So if this works out, it's a lot of things to. I gotta get the second. I got my first COVID vaccine today. No, here. I need to get the second one, and then also need some other vaccinations, and yeah, there's a lot of things for a trip to like that.
This is just the beginning of the SD show. We are going to definitely bring more and more interesting, mind boggling, mind bending podcasts to take you on an entirely new spiritual journey, learning journey, and we'll definitely explore different aspects of the world together. We'll definitely invite Mr. M. Ancient to the podcast again, and we'll have another lovely chat with him. We'll also request you to please go and follow M Ancient on LinkedIn. He's pretty active there. And follow him on YouTube. He's also available on Spotify. He's also available on Apple Music. So do listen to his songs.
Yeah, if you go to mancient.com or mancient.one, you find links to everything.
Yeah, perfect. So just Google N ancient, N and then ancient. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned and do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.